we're moving. And honestly, it's overwhelming. Years of memories, belongings, and decisions packed into every corner. But instead of trying to do it all at once, I'm tackling it one small task at a time, starting with the spaces that feel the heaviest. Because behind every drawer, closet, or cabinet is more than just clutter. It's a chance to reset, a chance to breathe again. And today, I started with just one kitchen cabinet, what I found buried in the back. Let's just say it wasn't what I expected, but it reminded me why this move matters. If you're facing a transition, downsizing, relocating, or just trying to simplify after 60, you're not alone. This is your reminder. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to start. And that fresh start, it might be hiding behind one small decision to let go. Let's do this together. If you're over 60 and going through a big life change, downsizing, relocating, or simply trying to let go of years of belongings, you know it's not just about the stuff. It's the memories tucked into every drawer. The what-ifs that make you hesitate. The maybe I'll need this one day that keeps you holding on. It's emotional, it's heavy, and it's completely normal to feel stuck. But here's the truth. Letting go doesn't mean losing your past. It means making room for what's next. You're not alone in this. And with each small step, you're not just clearing space, you're reclaiming peace. In today's video, I'm walking you through my moving reset, how I'm decluttering, cleaning, and organizing step by step, without the stress or burnout. I'll share simple strategies that work with your energy, not against it, especially if you're over 60 and want to make this transition a little easier. You'll get practical tips that protect your body, honor your memories, and lighten the emotional load that comes with letting go. By the end, you won't just have a clearer space, you'll feel clearer inside too. Let's make this move a fresh start, not a burden. Hey, the game plan. Let's be honest, moving can feel like standing at the bottom of a mountain, staring up, especially when you're over 60. The idea of packing up years, sometimes decades, of life can feel heavy, both physically and emotionally. That's why I knew I couldn't just start tossing things into boxes without a plan. I needed a way to approach this move that wouldn't overwhelm me or wear me down. So, I made myself a promise. No rushing, no guilt, no perfection. Just progress. And from that promise, I created 3 simple rules, my moving mantra, if you will. These rules helped me move forward without freezing up. They kept me focused and grounded when the memories came flooding back. And most importantly, they helped me reclaim control in a process that can often feel chaotic. Here they are. 1. Only keep what I use or love. This one sounds simple, but it's powerful. Over the years, we collect so many things we might use, could need, or use to enjoy. But during a move, especially later in life, it's time to be honest with ourselves. If I hadn't used it in the last year, or it didn't bring me joy when I looked at it, I let it go. This wasn't about being ruthless, it was about being realistic. I asked myself, would I buy this again today? If the answer was no, it went in the donate or discard pile. What stayed? The casserole dish I use every holiday. The cardigan I reach for on chilly mornings. The framed photo that still makes me smile. The rest? It had served its purpose. I could thank it silently, then let it go. 2. One drawer, one shelf, 1 hour at a time. The second rule was a game changer. Instead of looking at the whole house, which can feel paralyzing, I broke everything down into bite-sized tasks. 1 drawer, 1 shelf, 1 small area, and I gave myself just 1 hour at a time. Not an entire afternoon, not a full day, 1 focused hour, with no pressure to finish more than that. I even set a timer some days. And once the hour was up, I could stop guilt-free, knowing I had made progress. On days I had more energy, I kept going. On days I didn't, that 1 hour was enough. This approach made decluttering feel possible. It gave me quick wins that built momentum. And most importantly, it respected my body, my energy, and my emotional bandwidth. 3. Let go with intention. Donate, recycle, or toss. Letting go of things doesn't have to mean throwing them in the trash. In fact, I found a lot of peace in thoughtful letting go. Some things went straight to donation, gently used items that could bless someone else. Others were recycled, old papers, broken items, or outdated materials. And yes, some things simply needed to be tossed, things too worn to pass on, or no longer useful. But here's the key. Every item had a destination. No, maybe piles. No, I'll think about it later stacks. Each item either stayed, got donated, recycled, or tossed immediately. I even kept donation boxes by the door and made it a goal to drop them off weekly. That physical act of moving things out of the house felt freeing every single time. And in case you're wondering, yes, I had a few wobbly moments. A sweater I hadn't worn in years but held memories. A box of cards from people I don't talk to anymore. That's normal. Letting go takes courage, not coldness. So I gave myself permission to pause, reflect, and decide with compassion. So to recap, use or love it. One step at a time. Let go with intention. These 3 rules became my anchor through this entire moving process. They made each decision easier. They reduced the emotional weight. And they reminded me that moving isn't just about leaving one space, it's about making room for the next season of life. If you're staring at a room, or even just one cluttered drawer and wondering how you'll ever start, begin with these 3 steps. Start small, stay kind to yourself, and remember, letting go doesn't erase the past, it simply clears space for what's ahead. And if you're ready, let's keep going together. Next up, the cabinet that brought me to tears, and what I found inside. B. Kitchen cabinet declutter. I started with the kitchen cabinet, the one above the counter that somehow became a catch-all for everything over the years. You probably have one just like it. The kind of space where things go in, but rarely come back out. And let me tell you, this cabinet hadn't been touched in years. Not really. I might have grabbed a mug or a seasoning here and there, but I had never pulled everything out and looked at it with fresh eyes. And that's exactly what I did this time. Everything came out. What I found? Well, it was a little bit like opening a time capsule. Expired spices from 2008. Yes, 2008. Dried parsley that looked more like dried grass. A spice blend I vaguely remember buying for a holiday dish I never made. Some of them were so old, the labels had faded or fallen off completely. And yet, there they were, sitting quietly in the back, taking up space in a cabinet I use every day. Why do we hold on to things like that? Sometimes it's forgetfulness. Sometimes we think, maybe I'll use that one day. But more often, we're just used to seeing them there. They become part of the background, and we stop noticing. Letting go of those old spices felt like shedding weight I didn't even realize I was carrying. More importantly, I made room for the things I actually use: salt, pepper, cinnamon, olive oil, the everyday essentials, the ones that bring real flavor to my meals and my life. Mugs I haven't used since my grandkids were toddlers. That hit a little harder. There were mugs with cartoon characters, tiny hands painted on the side, and one that said, "World's Best Nana." All sweet reminders of when my grandkids were small and loved coming over for hot cocoa and silly stories. I hadn't used them in years, and yet I'd kept them, not because I needed the mugs, but because of the moments they represented. This is where decluttering gets emotional. These weren't just dishes, they were memories. And when you're moving, you start asking tough questions. Do I need to bring this into my next chapter? Or can I let the memory stay and release the object? I decided to keep one, the World's Best Nana mug. It still brings a smile to my face every time I see it. The rest, I took a photo of, wrapped gently, and donated. Because maybe another little one will smile holding them too. And just when I thought I was done, I found a tiny note. Tucked behind an old tea tin, barely visible, was a folded piece of paper. I almost tossed it, thinking it was just a crumpled receipt. But something made me stop. I opened it, and my heart did that thing where it skips and swells at the same time. It was a note from my late husband. Just a little thing he had scribbled and slipped into my lunch bag years ago, during a season when life was particularly hard. It simply said, "One day at a time. You're doing better than you think. I love you." And there it was, in the middle of expired spices and forgotten mugs. A reminder of love, of support, of being seen. I sat down and cried, right there on the kitchen floor. Not because I was sad, but because I felt so deeply connected to my past and reminded of what really matters as I move forward. I put the note in a safe place. It's coming with me to the new home. Not tucked away this time, but somewhere I'll see it more often. Here's what I learned from that cabinet. Decluttering isn't just about throwing things away. It's about reconnecting to your present needs, your past memories, and your future space. It's about letting go of what no longer serves you, while holding on, intentionally, to what still feeds your soul. So here's your challenge. Pick one cabinet, just one, Take everything out. Clean the shelves. Hold each item and ask, do I use this? Do I love this? Does this deserve space in my next chapter? And don't be surprised if, buried behind the clutter, you find something that moves you, something that reminds you who you are and how far you've come. Decluttering can be emotional, but it can also be healing. It can bring closure, clarity, even joy. And in moments like that, the process becomes about so much more than stuff. It becomes a reset, a release, a quiet act of self-respect. C. Bedroom closet reset. After the kitchen, I moved on to the bedroom closet. And I'll be honest, this was the hardest part emotionally. Not because of the dust or the disorganization, but because of what the clothes represented. This closet held years of my life. Clothes from a different size, a different job, a different version of me. Some I hadn't worn in years, but couldn't quite let go of. A tailored blazer from when I used to work full-time. A dress I wore to a wedding that's now just a sweet memory. Shoes I bought for just in case, though I can't remember the last time they left the house. And let's not even talk about the someday jeans. This wasn't just a pile of fabric, it was identity. It was a collection of moments, hopes, and memories, stitched into seams and tucked onto hangers. That's what made it hard. Because when we hold up a piece of clothing, we're not just asking, do I wear this? We're asking, am I ready to let this part of me go? And that's where I had to get honest with myself. So I gave myself permission to evolve, to honor the woman I was, while making space for the woman I am now. And to do that, I needed a system. One that was simple, unemotional, and clear. My tool, the hanger flip method. Here's how it works, and why it helped so much. I turned every single hanger in the closet backward. Over the next few weeks, every time I wore something, I hung it back up with the hanger turned the right way. After 30 to 60 days, it was easy to see which clothes I actually wore and which were just taking up emotional space. If you haven't worn it in the past year, and it's not formal wear, seasonal, or truly special, it might be time to let it go. It doesn't mean it didn't matter. It doesn't mean it wasn't beautiful. It just means it's no longer part of your life today. And that's okay. Letting go of clothing isn't about losing the memory. It's about choosing what serves you now. What stayed? Soft, easy pieces I actually reach for. A few outfits that make me feel confident and comfortable, even if they're simple. 1 or 2 keepsakes, folded and stored with care, not hidden among daily wear. And you know what else I kept? Space. Space between hangers. Space for clothes to breathe. Space that made the whole closet feel less like a burden and more like a quiet joy. What I let go of. I released the aspirational clothes, the ones I was saving for someday. When I lose weight, or if that old job ever comes back. I donated the shoes that hurt my feet. I bagged up the impulse buys that still had tags. And I forgave myself for every single one. Because here's the truth. We change. Our bodies change. Our seasons change. And holding on to old clothes doesn't preserve the past. It just clutters the present. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means moving forward with intention. A gentle reminder. If you're struggling with your own closet, here's what helped me most. Don't declutter everything in one day. Focus on one section. Tops, pants, shoes, accessories. Try everything on if you're unsure. Clothes feel different than they look. Ask yourself, would I wear this tomorrow? Not someday. Tomorrow. Give yourself grace. If something brings up emotion, pause. Breathe. You don't have to be ruthless. You just have to be ready. The unexpected gift. What surprised me most wasn't how much I let go, but how good it felt afterward. The lightness, the clarity, the sense of coming back to myself. I could open my closet and actually see what I own. I stopped dreading getting dressed. I stopped clinging to who I used to be and started embracing who I am now. No guilt, no pressure, just space for peace. So if your closet feels like a time capsule or a weight you carry every day, I want you to know you are not alone. You deserve a space that reflects the present, not the past. And every item you let go of is not a loss. It's a quiet act of self-respect. Let your closet reflect who you are today and leave room for who you're becoming. Are you ready to take that step? Because next, I'm tackling something even trickier, paper clutter. Old bills, files, manuals, and a few things I didn't expect to find. Let's keep going. You've got this. D. Paperwork purge. After the closet, I moved on to the one area I've been avoiding for years, the paper clutter. Drawers full of old bills, instruction manuals, receipts, warranties, greeting cards, medical records, you name it, I had it. Some tucked neatly into folders, others just shoved into drawers, just in case. And here's the thing, paper clutter doesn't look like a mess until you try to find something. Then suddenly, it's a sea of outdated documents, mystery envelopes, and anxiety. So I made a decision. It was time for a paperwork purge. What I found, within minutes of opening the first drawer, I found utility bills from 2012, insurance statements from companies I don't even use anymore, manuals for appliances I haven't owned in over a decade, birthday cards with no signature, expired coupons, warranties, and enough takeout menus to run my own restaurant. It was like peeling back layers of an old life, useful once, but long past their time. And as I sorted through it all, I realized something. Holding onto old paper is like holding onto noise, quiet clutter that hums in the background, until it starts to weigh on your mind. How I tackled it. I knew I couldn't deal with it all in one sitting. So I used the same approach I'd used with the kitchen and closet, one section at a time. And I asked myself 3 questions with every piece of paper. Do I need this legally or financially? Is this information available elsewhere, like online or in an email? Will I realistically ever need to reference this again? If the answer was no to all 3, it went into the shred pile. No hesitation, no guilt. I scanned what mattered and shredded the rest. Some documents are important, but not worth keeping in physical form. So I pulled out my scanner, or you can use a scanning app on your phone, and made digital copies of tax returns, medical records, insurance policies, home repairs and appliance receipts, legal papers. I saved everything to a labeled folder on a USB drive and a cloud backup, then shredded the physical copies. Not only did this free up space, it gave me peace of mind. No more rifling through old folders trying to find that one piece of paper. I know right where to look. What I let go of. Old bank statements I could access online. Instruction manuals for products I no longer owned. Greeting cards that didn't hold emotional meaning. Notes and to-do lists from years ago. Phone books. Yes, actual phone books. The paper shredder became my best friend. There's something strangely satisfying about hearing those pages disappear. It felt like clearing mental fog. But there was one binder I'll never throw away, buried at the back of the cabinet, under a pile of tax folders and dusty binders. I found something I hadn't seen in a long time. It was a blue 3-ring binder, worn around the edges. Inside, letters, handwritten ones. From my children, my spouse, my parents, some of them gone now. Some written decades ago. Notes from anniversaries, birthdays. Simple thank yous, and just thinking of you messages. Scribbled in familiar handwriting that I hadn't seen in years. That binder brought tears to my eyes. Not because it was sad, but because it reminded me how much love I've lived through. That's the kind of paper worth keeping. That's the kind of clutter I'll make room for every time. So I cleaned off the cover, labeled it Family Letters, and placed it where I'll actually see it. It's not going back in a drawer. It deserves space, and so do the memories inside. What I learned from letting go of paper: not everything needs to be saved. Most of what we hold on to just in case, we'll never look at again. Letting go of paper can actually lighten your mental load. It's not just about clearing shelves, but the things that truly matter. Give them a home. Protect them. Let them remind you of what's important. A few tips if you're starting your own paper purge. Set up 3 bins or folders. Keep, scan, shred. Sort in short bursts, 15 to 30 minutes at a time. Don't try to do it all at once. Be honest, if you didn't know it was there and haven't needed it in years, it's probably safe to let go. Label important categories like medical, legal, home, and family keepsakes. Store the truly special things where you can access them, not hidden away in a drawer. Paper might seem small, but it has a powerful emotional pull. It reminds us of who we were, what we went through, and sometimes who we've lost. But organizing it doesn't mean forgetting. It means making room for clarity, peace, and forward motion. And if that's not a gift worth giving yourself during a big move, I don't know what is. Ready for the next step? Because in the next part of this journey, I'll show you how I packed up my essentials, not with stress, but with intention. The goal? A lighter, calmer transition to this next season of life. Let's keep going. B. Packing what matters. After the sorting, decluttering, and letting go, came the final step: packing. But not just any kind of packing, intentional packing. By this point, I had released so much. Items I didn't use, clothes I didn't wear, papers I didn't need. And in doing that, I created something rare and valuable: space. But now, with boxes waiting and the move approaching, I had to decide what actually comes with me into this next chapter. And I made myself one promise: only pack what I truly need and love. Nothing more. How I packed with purpose. Instead of just tossing everything into boxes and sealing them up in a hurry, I took a more thoughtful, manageable approach. Here's exactly what I did and what worked best for me. 1. I labeled boxes by room and energy level. Most people label boxes by room, kitchen, bathroom, bedroom. That's useful, but I took it a step further by also labeling them by energy level. Open first: daily essentials like toiletries, medications, one outfit, a towel, coffee supplies, and basic kitchenware. Light lift: quick, easy wins. Think books, folded clothes, linens. Heavy or sentimental: items that require emotional or physical energy to unpack, photo albums, decor, or tools. This small shift helped me pace myself when it came time to unpack. I didn't have to open the emotional boxes right away. I gave myself permission to start slow. 2. Color-coded everything. I bought a set of simple colored labels and assigned one color to each room. Blue, kitchen; yellow, bathroom; green, bedroom; red, storage; orange, fragile. No complicated numbering system. Just glance and go. It made a huge difference when boxes started piling up. And when friends or movers helped, they didn't have to ask where anything went. 3. Packed with my future self in mind. As I packed, I didn't ask, where did this live in my current home? Instead, I asked, where will this live in my next home? That shift changed everything. It helped me picture my new space with intention, calmer, simpler, filled only with what I truly need. Every item I boxed up had to earn its place in the new house. If I couldn't picture it being used or loved in my future space, I let it go. My packing priorities. Comfort first. I packed a first night bag with pajamas, meds, and a clean set of clothes so I wouldn't feel scrambled on move-in day. Breakables together. I used towels and clothing to cushion fragile items, instead of buying extra packing supplies. Worked like a charm. Memory box. I created one small box labeled memories for sentimental things I'm not ready to part with, but don't need to see every day. No guilt, just boundaries. A quick note on pace. If you're over 60 and facing a big move, packing can feel physically exhausting. I kept my sessions to about 1 hour at a time, just like I did with decluttering. One box, one shelf, one section per day. It's not about doing it all fast. It's about doing it with care. There were a few moments that caught me off guard. Folding the last towel from a bathroom I'd used for years. Packing up mugs that had seen 1,000 quiet mornings. Closing a box labeled living room, photos. And realizing this chapter was really closing. But here's the part one didn't expect. Packing mindfully helped me grieve, process, and celebrate all at once. Every box I sealed felt like a small ceremony. Not a goodbye to the past, but a gentle thank you. And every labeled corner of cardboard held something I had chosen, intentionally, to bring with me. Packing isn't just about moving things. It's about carrying forward the best of your life, not all of it. So give yourself permission to pack slow. Pack light. Pack only what matters. And when the day comes to open those boxes in your new space, you'll feel it. Not the weight of what you brought, but the freedom of what you left behind. Letting go isn't just about clearing shelves or emptying drawers. It's about making room for what's next. Every item I released wasn't a loss. It was a quiet act of reclaiming my time, my space, and my peace of mind. With each donation, each recycled paper, each empty box, I felt a little lighter. This move isn't just about leaving one home for another. It's a reset, a chance to live with more clarity and less clutter, to surround myself only with what truly serves me now. And maybe, just maybe, to finally breathe a little easier in this new season of life. Here's what a little consistent effort can do. No fancy systems, no color-coded charts, no need to be perfect. Just one drawer, one shelf, one decision at a time. Bit by bit, the clutter cleared, and so did the mental fog. What started as a move became something more, a gentle return to what matters. And for the first time in a long time, my home feels open, peaceful, lighter. But more than that, my heart feels lighter too. Because when we let go of what we no longer need, we make space for calm, clarity, and possibility. And that's something worth working toward, no matter what age we are. Are you facing a move, or simply trying to simplify your life? What's one space or item you're finding hard to let go of? Share it in the comments. I'd truly love to hear your story. You're not alone in this. If this video gave you a little motivation to start or keep going, give it a thumbs up. And if you want more encouragement, tips, and real talk about simplifying life after 60, make sure to subscribe. There's so much more ahead, and we're on this journey together.